his beloved child. They must not move. Something is happening around them that they cannot see. He needs them to stay right there with him. He needs them to hear every word he is about to speak, because their spirit already knows this message is not random. Their heart already felt the pull. Something inside whispered that they needed to open this, that they needed to pause, that something was wrong, even if they could not explain why. And that whisper was him. That feeling was him. He has been calling them, trying to reach them, trying to warn them gently. But now he cannot stay silent anymore. They are in danger, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and he could not stay silent anymore. He watched the weight on their chest. He watched the thoughts that kept circling in their mind. He watched how their peace slowly started breaking without any clear reason. They tried to brush it off. They tried to stay strong, but deep inside something felt off. Something felt wrong. Music plays softly, and they did not know what it was. He tells them what they felt was real. That heaviness was not just a mood. That sudden fear was not random. That confusion lingered, did not come from nowhere. Something began to rise around them. Something dark, something sent to drain them, distract them, and weaken their spirit. And he could not let that continue. The Lord brought them here because the enemy has already begun an attack against them. They did not see it fully, but they felt its shadow. They felt its pressure. They felt the sudden shift in their emotions. They felt a strange restlessness in their spirit. They felt the way their minds started getting tired even when they did nothing. They felt the way people around them started changing. They felt small things going wrong for no reason. They felt peace leaving without explanation. That was not their imagination. That was not their fault. That was not weakness. That was the enemy trying to pull them away from what he is preparing for them. He is speaking because they were about to step into something that could destroy their peace, their blessing, and their destiny. There is something ahead of them that has the power to change their future. Something beautiful, something sacred, something he prepared with his own hands. But whenever he is about to lift one of his children higher, the enemy tries to stop them before they reach the blessing. And that is what has been happening to them. They were being pulled toward a wrong step, a wrong connection, a wrong decision, a wrong environment, something that would have drained them completely. He could not let them walk into something that would break them. That is why he is here. That is why this message reached them at this moment. That is why they could not scroll past. Their spirit knew this moment was important. They listened closely. Their next few seconds matter more than they know. He needs their full heart with him. He needs them to let his words enter the parts of them that have been hurting silently. He needs them to let him speak to the places that feel weak, weary, or afraid. He does not speak to frighten them. The Lord speaks to protect them. He speaks to lift them up. He speaks to block what was sent against them. Every second they remain here, the rubric, darkness loses its power. Every breath they take while listening to him strengthens their spirit. Every moment their heart opens brings his protection closer around them. Many people will ignore this, but they opened it because their spirit sensed the warning. Others would scroll away. Others would think it is just another message, but not them. Something deep inside them said, wait, this is different. Something inside them whispered, I feel like these words are for me. That whisper was his voice. He has been trying to reach them because their spirit is more sensitive than they realize. They can feel danger before it touches them. They can feel his presence even when he speaks softly. And that sensitivity is part of their calling. That sensitivity is why he chose them to read this. They are not here by accident. They are here because their spirit heard him calling their name. He has been watching what has been surrounding them, and he cannot let them walk into darkness unaware. They have been carrying too much alone. They have been fighting silent battles that nobody sees. They have been smiling through pain that Nobody understands. They have been trying to stay strong, while something has been trying to weaken them from the inside. The enemy has been whispering lies into their mind, trying to make them doubt themselves, trying to make them question their value, trying to make them feel abandoned, tired, confused, or defeated. But he has been watching it all. He saw when their heart began sinking. He saw when their energy dropped. He saw when their hope felt small. And he said, "Enough. My child will not walk through this without my voice guiding them. This is not fear. This is protection. This is him pulling them out of danger. This is him wrapping his presence around them. This is him stepping between them and what was sent to harm them. This is him saying, 'Stay close. Stay here. Listen to me. I am with you. You are not alone. You have never been alone.' Even in the moments when they felt like nobody cared, the Lord was there. Even in moments when they thought everything was falling apart, he was protecting them from things that could have destroyed them completely. He saw attacks forming before they even knew those threats existed, and he blocked them. He fought for them. He covered them. Now he speaks directly because he is shifting things in their lives. Stay with him. Do not look away. They opened this message for a reason. Soft music swells. Their hearts know that reason better than their minds do. Something inside them has been crying for help, for clarity, and for peace. And he answers that cry now. He is holding them. He is guarding them. And he will reveal what they must know, one single breath at a time. Just stay there with him. Let his voice reach deep inside them, where nobody else can go. They are safe now in his divine presence. Stop what they are doing. Just stop for a moment. He needs their attention now. He needs their hearts with him, because something has been happening around them that they did not see. And if he does not speak now, they might walk into something that harms them. They must not rush this moment. Do not look away. He brought them here because this message is the shield he places over their spirit. They needed to hear his voice, and they listen to him now. Taipame. His faithfulness has never failed them, as he carries them faithfully through trials. They had been walking with a strange heaviness weighing on their chest, and they could not explain why. They kept waking up exhausted, even after resting. They felt an intense pressure in their min, as though thoughts would never settle. They felt completely disconnected from themselves, and they assumed they were simply overwhelmed, lazy, or totally drained. But they were not. Something was wrong, an unseen struggle, and that feeling they had, that quiet fear, that sudden change in their emotions, that whisper that something is wrong, was the Lord trying to warn them. He saw the spiritual atmosphere around them shift. He saw something trying to draw near to them. He saw a force trying to drain their strength, weaken clarity, and steal their peace. And he could not let them walk through it blindly. That is why he speaks with urgency. That is why he brought them here. And their heart reacted before their mind could understand. And now he wants to make it clear, because they deserve to know the truth. They have felt afraid without reason. Something deep inside them would tighten, their chest would feel heavy, or their breath would grow short, even when their day seemed normal. But fear did not come from them. It came from the spiritual pressure placed around their life. Their spirit could feel the presence of something that did not belong near them, something that tried to bring fear, something that tried to disturb their peace. They felt fear rising because their spirit sensed danger their eyes could not see. When they suddenly felt unsafe for no reason, it was not their imagination. It was their spirit staying alert. There were moments they felt watched, as if someone's eyes were on them, even when they were alone. They pushed the feeling away, but it kept returning. That feeling came because something was observing them spiritually. The enemy does not watch their steps. He watches their weakness, their tiredness, their emotional openings. When they felt that strange discomfort, that sensation of being watched, it was their spirit sensing the presence of something that came close without permission. But the Lord saw it too, and that is why he placed this message here. He wanted to speak before that feeling grew into fear. Their dreams have also been changing. They have been experiencing restlessness. When they sleep, they wake up tired, or they wake up suddenly as if something startled their spirit. There were dreams that left them unsettled. There were nights where their sleep felt thin, unstable, or broken. There were moments they woke up with a racing heart or a tense body, and they did not understand why. But their dreams were not random. Their spirit was fighting battles during the night while they slept. God covered them. He protected them. But they still felt the shake of spiritual activity happening in their sleep. They also experienced sudden anxiety that came out of nowhere. It rose quickly without warning, without a reason. One moment they were fine, the next. A moment they felt overwhelmed. That anxiety did not belong to them. It was not a sign of weakness. It was not a sign that something was wrong with their mind. It was spiritual pressure trying to press into their thoughts. When darkness senses someone chosen, someone rising, someone about to step into purpose, it tries to disturb their heart with sudden anxiety. It tries to confuse them with overwhelming emotions. It tries to weaken their faith by shaking their sense of peace. But hear this. Indeed, that anxiety was not them. It was not a reflection of who they are. It was a reflection of what was trying to come against them. There were moments when they felt disconnected from God, from their purpose, from their calling. They felt numb when they prayed. They felt empty even when talking to Him. They felt distant from their own goals, their dreams, their hopes. They felt like their spirit was fading, not dying, but growing quiet. And they thought it was because the Lord stepped back from them. But He never stepped back from them, not for a single second. Every moment they felt far from Him. It wasn't because He had moved. It was because darkness was trying to pull them away. They were being pulled away from Him without realizing it. That is what He wants them to understand. The enemy doesn't pull with force. He pulls with weariness. He pulls with confusion. He pulls with emotional numbness. He pulls with lies that sound like their own thoughts. He pulls with a quiet voice saying, "You're not worthy." He pulls with a whisper saying, "Maybe God forgot you." He pulls with a heaviness saying, "You're too weak to pray." He pulls with a doubt saying, "Maybe you're on the wrong path." He doesn't need to push them into darkness. He only needs to make them feel like they're walking alone, because He knows if they feel alone, they stop reaching out. They stop praying. They stop trusting. They stop believing. And without realizing it, they slowly drift, not because they want to, but because they were exhausted. And the Lord watched them drift, not far, not completely, but enough for Him to speak now. They were drifting because their heart was tired, not because their faith was gone. Their spirit was still awake. Their heart still reached for Him. Even when they felt disconnected, they still whispered His name. They still hoped He was listening. They still wanted Him near them. That is how He knew their faith never died. A quiet moment. It was only buried under the weight of the emotions they were not meant to carry. The Lord saw their confusion. He saw how their thoughts raced around. He saw their emotions crash like waves, without any rhythm. He saw their heart trying to stay calm, yet still trembling. He saw their mind trying to stay focused but constantly drifting. He saw them trying to act strong even when they felt weak inside. He saw how they pushed through their day with a weary smile. He saw them trying to handle everything on their own because they did not want to worry anyone. He saw how they stayed silent because they did not even know how to explain what they felt. They believed these things made them unstable, but they did not. They simply made them human. They made them vulnerable. And darkness always targets vulnerability. The enemy tries to slip through cracks formed by deep pain. The enemy whispers during moments of their weakness. The enemy plants lies in moments of confusion. And that is what the enemy did to them. Not because they invited him, not because they were doing anything wrong, but because their spirit is valuable, because their future is powerful, because their calling is real, because they carry something inside them that threatens the enemy's plans. They are stronger than they know, but even the strongest hearts feel pressure. Even the strongest minds feel tired. Even the strongest spirits feel shaken. That is why the Lord speaks to them now. He wants to help them understand that none of this was their fault. The chaos they felt was not their identity. It was the symptom of a spiritual attack that came close to their life. If they had no purpose, they would have no predator. If they had no calling, they would have no battles. If they carried nothing, darkness would ignore them. But they were chosen. They were trekked. They were called. And that is why the enemy tried to disturb them before they stepped into the crate. The next chapter he prepared for them. They were being pulled away from him not by choice, but by emotional exhaustion. He saw it happening softly, quietly, slowly. All the small emotions that made them feel distant from him were not born from truth. They were born from interference. Their spirit was trying to hold on. Their heart was crying out for clarity. Their mind was struggling to breathe under the weight of thoughts that did not belong to them. And he knew that if he did not step in, now they would keep on thinking that the emptiness they felt was a sign of his absence. But he calls them to listen. He was never truly gone. He watched over every single moment. He saw when their heart grew afraid. He saw when their spirit felt unsettled. He saw when their dreams became troubled. He saw when sudden anxiety tried to steal their peace. He saw when they felt disconnected from him. And he said, "My child cannot carry this alone." That is why he came. That is why he interrupted their day. That is why he brought them to this message. They need to understand this truth deeply. They are not losing him. They are finding him again. They are not falling away. They are being drawn back. They are not being defeated. They are being made strong. The emotions they felt were not the end. They were signs that he was about to begin something brand new within them. Now he must show them the attacks that were forming around their lives, the ones they could not see but their spirit could feel. These attacks were not loud or obvious. They were hidden, silent, gentle enough to seem harmless, but powerful enough to slowly weaken their spirit had he not stepped in. The enemy knows that they are strong, so he does not attack them with open destruction. He attacks them with small things, quiet things, subtle details. And the Lord saw them all before they did. They write Amen, resting in his perfect timing, where patience and faith have become their strength while sharing this video.